Well, welcome to the Inside Out cleanse. I just said the Inside Out cleanse because I looked down here at my binder. When I first started doing this program, I called it the Inside Out cleanse, and I'm still playing with the name as I am trying to get the essence of everything, because it's a cleanse, as you know, but it's more than that. It's a challenge. It's a way of calling you forward, but it also goes deeper, because we look at the mind, the body, and your purpose or spirit in terms of how all these things come together, so that way you can have a more uniform feeling and presence and balance, and ultimately feel even better than how you feel today. So the name is evolving, and I'm sure that it's going to continue to evolve, and I think that just to make it simple and sweet, the ingredients to success. 21-day cleanse challenge. So I want to welcome everyone. My company is called Ingredients to Success, and I believe that there's in life a recipe, just like there's a recipe for any particular good recipe or dinner or meal or anything that you have, that it takes the right type of ingredients to go in for you to create ultimately what you want. And I say success, but it could be the ingredients to anything: vitality, health, happiness, well-being, a cleanse, or whatever. So in any recipe for anything, it's what you put in is what you get out. So I hope that today you'll get some great ingredients to create success for your program, and you'll get out of it what you want. Some people want to increase their energy. Some people want to increase their overall positive outlook on life. A lot of people want to lose weight. Some people just want to experience coming together in community. So hopefully, as we go through this, you'll get exactly what you want out of it, what your needs are. Right? Seems to work sometimes.
It's usually pretty much on point.
Okay. Okay, so I want to take a moment just to congratulate you all for being here. You're taking a stand for yourself, and you're putting yourself at the top of your list. As you know, so often we get pushed and shoved around through all the different things of life, and I congratulate you all for taking the time out for yourself. I want you to acknowledge yourselves and each other, as well as knowing that you're in that community I just talked about a moment ago. And all great things start a journey. This is what this program really is, because it's not just a destination of where you're going, but a journey. All journeys of 1,000 miles begin with a single step. So just want to congratulate you on that. Today, we're going to go over a bunch of things. There's a lot of stuff. We have some repeat participants who are here in the program. I just heard one of our participants sharing that it can get a little overwhelming. It's a lot of information, and going through the program a second, third, fourth time isn't unusual, because every time you go through it, you pick up a nuance, you pick up something different. Your commitment is a little bit different. Your involvement is greater. Things are a little easier because you get yourself a little better organized as you go through the program. So I see that most of you are very well organized. You all have your books, and that's a great first step. So we're going to go over review the materials. We're going to talk a little bit about energy and cells, the benefits of cleansing, an overview of the process and the 3 phases that this program is all about, and then we're going to just mention coaching. So some of the key objectives for going through the program. Now, this can be personalized based upon what your goals are, but to help you confidently plan, shop, and prepare great meals. And you'll know, and I think you can attest, that there's some really great recipes in here. Use them as a guideline. The recipes are there to help and support you. If you think that there's a recipe that you'd like to use that could substitute well, I'll give you some parameters for that. By all means, go ahead and add in. This is just a way to help make it easier. Hopefully you'll be able to articulate some key contributors to toxic burdens on the body, and the body and how that causes inflammation. That some of our diseases and weight gain are actually just the toxins that are storing up in our bodies because of the foods that we're eating. Hopefully you'll upgrade choices and decrease food cravings and toxins. Rediscover the power to heal within, because I believe that healing is part of your own personal capability. and create new daily habits that will help you to create a happier and healthier, more abundant life. So, how did I get here? Well, unlike one of the participants I was just talking to, I have struggled with my weight. And although I was trying to find some pictures of me when I weighed pretty much close to 200 pounds, I found the one here on the far left. And this program is not all about a weight, but it is a big component of it. And I just wanted to share that as a corporate executive, I was traveling 80 to 85% of the time. And I was traveling all over the United States and thinking when I got to a city that I deserved to have a really great big meal, a bowl of pasta, a big huge steak, and a bottle of wine. Because hey, I was on the road and I deserved it. Well, what I was doing was actually killing myself. Maybe many of you would realize that that would kill just about anybody, but when you're on the fast track, you're making a lot of money, and sitting down to a $60 bottle of wine is a reward at the end of the day. Wouldn't you agree? So I was on that, plane to, I didn't feel well. I didn't have a lot of energy, and my cholesterol was up over close to 300. I shared with you where my weight was. I had depression and all other kinds of things that I outlined in your workbook. But what I discovered was to get off that treadmill, I needed to make some positive changes in my life. That included changing food, changing my outlook, changing my daily practices that would help me to achieve what I wanted, which led me down the path to starting up my own business and starting to work with clients in early 2000. So I'd like to see that I've made some great progress externally, but more so internally in terms of how I feel about myself. Because it really all starts with, loving yourself and taking the time out to really take care of yourself. So love is really important, and I have a couple things up here that I'd like to just bring to your attention. I have a heart-shaped crystal bowl, and I have a box. And we're going to get into this a little bit later, but one of them is a gratitude bowl, so giving gratitude, and the other is a prayer box. So when I say to somebody, I'll pray for you, one way for me to help to remember is to put on the little slip of paper, which you all have, is the person's name and the date, and I'll put it in the box to make a prayer. And I try to do my gratitude at the end of every day. So while we're focused in on food and the program, I want to introduce these things now because they're going to be a key component to overall helping to maintain your outlook, a positive outlook, and how you interact with your own life and people. And I think that has probably been one of the greatest lessons for me. And I want to share that through not just the pictures, but how it actually helped me feel internally. So you all got your materials, and there's a lot of stuff to go through there. And we're going to go through some of the materials. So you have your self-assessment. I've asked you all to please take a moment to do your self-assessment in the client workbook, my little 3-ring binder. And so you'd start out with your overall energy, your weight, and some key measurements, and then do like a self-assessment. What I have found is when I've gone back and actually looked at this, I've seen where my head was, what I was thinking, what was happening, and all of that has a direct relationship to how you're overall feeling. So it's a really great way to keep track of that. But journaling is going to be one of those ways, as you see later on in the same outline. We're asked that you talk about your energy level, what things happen during the day, and we're going to get into this thing called renewal. What are the things that you're doing to actually help to support yourself through the process? So that's all included in that. And journaling is a key component to the program. If you put into that, and I have another participant who shared, this time I'm going to do the journaling, Linda. I'm going to do this, and I'm also going to stop doing some of the other things. So it's a process. So don't worry if you missed something, you have a chance to do it again. Because just like you clean your car, or get your oil changed every 4,000 or 5,000 miles, or every season, you might change your batteries and your smoke detectors. This is a way of taking time out and renewing yourself and cleaning yourself and kind of hitting the reset button. So we have also the guidebook, some suggestions on daily protocols, a list of what you can do every day when you wake up. You know, when you start up, maybe you do a little meditation, maybe you do a little breathing. We're going to talk about these things a little bit more. But things that you could do on a regular basis, because you know, when you start to do them on a normal basis, it becomes part of your everyday diet and not just the cleanse process. You actually feel better when you take time out to sit, meditate, to breathe, to journal. Then we have the meal plan and recipe book. So how many of you have already dug in, you know, jumped into the meals and have done your food shopping? Okay, great. So there's time, there's plenty of time. Toxin reduction tips and tools, and then we have some kitchen food prep and tips. And throughout the program, I'll be giving you additional information, supplemental to what you've received. So the program I've already kind of alluded to is sort of an integration of mind, body, and spirit. Some people don't like that word spirit. I am not here to profess that you believe in a certain God or deity or anything. So think of spirit as somehow getting deeper connected to your own feelings and own sense of self. So I don't want you to be turned off by that word spirit. And if you do have a real strong spiritual practice, that's great as well. And I, you know, support you in whatever that might mean to you. But in the terms for this program, what we're looking at is creating wellness and balance. And I really love these two pictures because mind, body, spirit is sort of like a circular thing. It feeds off of each other. It's iterative. So you give to one, you give to the other, and it kind of works back and forth, and that actually helps to create balance and a sense of well-being. But I also have an affinity for lotus flowers. If you can see, my logo is actually a lotus flower. And the reason for that is because out of the dirt of a pond comes this amazing little beautiful flower, the lotus. So anything can grow from, you know, the muck, so to speak. So, and another way to think about mind, body, spirit is commit, focus, and follow through. I want your commitment to this program. I want you to start thinking about what's your commitment to yourself. What are you going to do for yourself? In 3 or 4 weeks from now, how do you want to feel? How do you want to look? What are those things that are important to you? And really start to create that sense of well-being. So, bring it into the mind. All good programs start with the mind. This is about thinking, and it's about intellect. If we don't talk about this, then it's going to be like, why are we doing this? I don't really understand. So we want to get a good understanding of the program, how it works. Recipes and meal plans are part of that intellect. What are we going to eat? The materials, making a commitment, goal setting. These are all things that force you to start to think. Questions and answers, and positive thinking. How many people start out their day thinking, oh no.
Never.
God, another day. Never. You don't have the time.
No, I don't want to, that's not the way I like to start my day. I've got to be on a positive note.
Okay, so start the day, every day, on a positive note. One positive moment can change your day. And what do? They get up on the wrong side of the bed? They got up on the wrong side of the bed? Think about that. So you get up on the wrong side of the bed, find the right side of the street. That's all. Really simple. And if you ever want to, to pick yourself up, just go out and type in positive images or positive in Google and click images, and you'll see all kinds of things. Something that's just to kind of get you back on track. So body. So we talked about mind, body. This is the physical, and this is tied to the emotions, and this is doing. So these are the things that we're going to do to help support the program. So you're going to eat, that's doing. Exercising, breathing, journaling, body brushing, and lymphosizing. We're going to talk about body brushing and lymphosizing in just a moment. But these are the things that you're going to actually be suggested to do. You don't have to do it all. This is like a smorgasbord. You might like some things, you might not like other things. So just be in mind that this is going to be, you have a lot of different things that you can add in. Because if you add in some good things, guess what happens to the other things? They get crowded out. There isn't any room because you're doing all these other things and you're too busy. to think about that cupcake. And then we got this thing around spirit and purpose. And this is around feeling and it's about being. We're human beings, but we wind up doing so much that we lose emphasis of where we are in the process. So I wanted to help to develop the muscle around having your own sense of spiritual presence for yourself. And this is by breathing, journaling, tapping into your own innate energy, your own sense of who you are, the feelings. Because sometimes you might have a feeling that triggers whatever kind of negative behavior that you want to change. And if you're not aware, then it's going to be difficult to change it. So by doing some of these things that I'll be suggesting, you'll be able to know, ooh, maybe, I just got word what my mother's cancer regimen will be. And now I'm immediately going to reach for some food that is going to actually help to create comfort. Well, if I understand that, then I might be able to break the pattern. I might be able to do something else that's different, that's going to help me to stay in alignment with what my commitment is. And helping to be more fully present so you can enjoy the food that you have, enjoy the life that you have, and see that things are really pretty good. So that's like kind of how the program all comes together. We're going to touch upon these different things. So why cleanse? So you probably already know the answer. Why are some of you here to cleanse today, or cleanse coming through the program? Anyone?
Just feel better.
Feel better?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. More energy?
Education.
Education?
I love that.
Okay. All right. So all those reasons are why, and detoxing can actually help to increase your energy, increase and restore your liver, and help with your digestive systems, your cells, organs, and actually help you to lose weight. Detoxing, and I'll use detoxing and cleansing kind of interchangeable. So detoxing also helps with your mental and spiritual health. So I don't know, once you eliminate foods and you start to add them back, you'll begin to see that food definitely has an overall effect on your mood and your behavior. And I believe that a lot of the issues that we have with ADD, and it could be in children or even adults, are triggered because I know when I start to eat bad foods for me, my moods go down. And it's something I can't even control. So foods directly have an impact. So we just talked about some of them, but they'll help with issues, illness and prevention, improve digestion, eliminate cravings, and personal and spiritual growth. This is a duplication of the last slide. So weight loss and beautification. It's amazing when you stop putting toxins into your body, what happens to you. People are going to say, wow, you look so good. I think you might have experienced that last time. But people are like, what are you doing? I want some of that. Improve your mental function and remove the feeling of being stuck or heavy. Ugh. So we're going to talk a little bit about toxins and what they do. And this is, the picture says a lot, because this is the way most of the food is being produced these days, genetically modified. So what they're doing is they're taking pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, and they're genetically changing food. And there are big, huge companies that I'm not going to name that are doing this. And they're telling the farmers this is a better way to go, and so forth and so on. Well, since farming has changed and now we have GMOs, people are getting sicker and sicker and they don't really know the reason why. Well, when you change the genetic makeup of food, the body no longer recognizes it. And I have a slide here coming up, but what happens is the body doesn't recognize it. Just like when you have a bee sting. You get the bee sting, I have a picture of that. The body sends out the infiltrate, and the body starts to produce swelling, and red becomes red, and the body starts to fight against it. Well, when you start eating food that the body doesn't recognize, the same thing happens. The food comes in, the body starts to fight against it. because it doesn't recognize it. That's why we've seen a tremendous increase in autoimmune diseases, which, by the way, I happen to have Hashimoto's, which is a thyroid issue. I don't have hypo or hyper, I just have the antibodies because the body doesn't recognize it. And I know that if I immediately take out the foods that create that, the antibodies come down because my body can't recognize what's happening. And it's taking me years to try, figure that out. But some of the things that are other causes, not only the GMO, but you have the sugar. Sugar is probably the biggest culprit for all diseases. It's the number one. Look at diabetes, and that's like on a huge increase. People want to continue to eat their sugar and think that the insulin patch is going to help them, right? That's not true. Cancer lives off of sugar. The first thing, if you have anything, serious illness, is to eliminate all sugar from your diet. Not only sugar, but also the artificial sweeteners, because again, the body doesn't know what to do with it. Alcohol, for a lot of really good reasons. There's a lot of sugar in alcohol, plus all the different toxins. Processed foods, petrochemicals, and you want to also eliminate the toxin negative thinking. So not only are your food sources of toxins, but everything around us are big key sources. Plastics, microwave ovens. If you're going to use a microwave oven, don't stand in front of it waiting for your food.
You're not supposed to watch the food till it's done.
Until it explodes in there, right? Oh no! Water, what kind of water? Food quality, smoke, pollution, antibiotics and alcohol or recreational drugs, lack of exercise and lymph movement. Your lymphatic system is second to your circulatory system. The lymphatic system helps to move the debris out of the body, so you want to be moving so that the lymph can clean itself out. And stress. Does anybody have any of those? A little bit. Okay, so we kind of talked a little bit about the science. I had the picture with the tomatoes and the GMO, with those little needles, syringes. Toxins come into the body, and the body doesn't know what to do with it. So they get stored in the fat cells. So that's why people try to go on these low-fat diets, and they can't seem to lose weight. Well, all the toxins are actually trapped in the fat cells, and it kind of blows up the fat cells. So what you want to do is you want to reduce the amount that you're bringing in and and flush out the ones that you have in your body. So stepping up the diet is one piece of the puzzle, and nutrition should be the part of any detox or cleanse. But eliminating toxins is just as important as the foods. So as you're reducing what you're bringing in, you want to start to reduce some of your exposure to some of those other items. So one of the primary ways to eliminate waste, as I've just mentioned, is the lymphatic system. So your lymph system works closely with your circulatory system as it cleans and returns tissue fluid to the blood and destroys toxins that enter the body. So we have lots of lymph nodes all throughout our body. And we can help to that flow, that circulation, by doing a number of different things. And you might have heard the word already this morning or this afternoon, lymphocyzing. Okay, so one way to get your lymphatic system flowing is to do some rebounding on a little mini trampoline. So when you jump up, what happens is gravity becomes weightless in that moment. And then when you impact and hit the trampoline, it kind of jolts the cells, and it helps the lymphatic system to flow better because it runs on a hydraulic. So when you're up and you bounce, it kind of helps that hydraulic system. Another way that we're going to discuss, but I'll show you now, is through this. You might have seen on there's a dry skin brushing. So dry skin brushing, one, it helps to get the dry skin cells off those dry skin, but it also helps the lymphatic system to move. So very simply, I'll show you this now rather than later since I have it in my hand. You just start at your feet and you do long strokes. You want to go up towards your heart. And you know, just right before you get in the shower, it only takes a couple minutes. You do all this. You do everything except for your face. And then when you come to your arms, you want to come down and especially get under here. A lot of women have their lymph under their breasts, so you want, you know, maybe moving that. Get your butt, because it also helps to get rid of cellulite. And you just, you know, do your whole body, do your belly, and it actually helps. It's invigorating. It feels really good. So, Kathy, were you able to find one?
Yeah, I did actually.
Where did you find yours?
I only had bought one on Amazon because I liked it better than the one that I found in the store.
And Bath and Beyond, do they have?
Yeah, they do have them there.
It actually is so good. It feels so good like on your back. Oh my gosh.
Feels good on your back.
So should you do it to yourself, or can you have somebody else do it? I'm just trying to figure out how this works.
Yes, you're a team, so. Yes, Lori, you can help him.
She's gonna wake up at the
Feels
same
good.
time.
So, might as well have fun, right? And you'll see that when you go through this program,
Hey,
your
have fun
family.
with it. You know?
What was that, Ellen?
Have fun with it.
Have fun with it, right?
Absolutely.
And share it with your family, right?
It's true.
Right? When you make dinner for yourself, who else is gonna benefit?
I bought one from Madison, my daughter.
You
so,
did?
Yeah.
So is it just once a day?
Yeah, in the morning before you go into the shower. If you like it, you want to get
Yeah.
invigorated later in the day, you can do it
Go home for lunch.
another time. All right, well, that's our detox, right?
Yeah, Frank's way ahead of us.
Piecing it all together, slowly.
All right, so here, what is the true source of disease, weight gain, and low energy? Toxins. They accumulate in your body and in your bloodstream, and that's the primary cause of illness. I have witnessed and seen time and time and time again people, stage 4 cancer, go into a clinic down in Florida. I'm trained through this program as well. It's called Hippocrates Health Institute. If you'd like to speak to me about it, by all means. But you go in, you go on a raw food diet. That means fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds that are in its raw form, that are transformed into beautiful meals. You drink wheatgrass and green juice every single day. You drink lemon water every day. And it's amazing. There's a whole bunch of other parts of the program that talk about the mind, the body, and the spirit, all the other things we talked about. And people who come in wheelchairs within 2 weeks are actually walking. I've seen it, I've witnessed it, I've experienced it, because I know that, you know, in my own personal health journey, where my cholesterol was close to 300, within 2 weeks it was down below 200. My Hashimoto's over a 3-month period of changing my diet went down to 0. So food, I like to think about food could be a weapon. Your fork is a weapon. So what you put at the end of it can either heal you or hurt you. So think about what's at the end of your fork and think about what you're putting into your body. Okay, so there are 4 ways at eliminating toxins. You have your skin, your lungs, bowels, and your urinary tract. So we talked about the skin, so the dry skin brushing helps. That's why you want to sweat or, you know, do hot saunas will help with that. Your lungs, you want to talk about breathing. And of course, making sure that you're eliminating. So it's important throughout the whole program that you are eliminating. If you're not, then perhaps, and I should say all this, I'm not a medical doctor. Everything that I pulled together is through my own personal experience. So if you feel that you need to check into with your own medical doctor before you do anything, then I would suggest that. But I have found that drinking different kinds of teas, like smooth move tea is one. I have used that. You want to definitely be eliminating every day. And I'll be sharing with you about colonics at another time through an email that I'll share with you. There's a local resource, and then urinary tract. So you want to definitely be urinating, and drinking water is really key. And then, of course, eliminating those negative thinking patterns. So here's a sign of things that if your body is reacting to toxins. How many of you get some of these and run to the doctor?
Or how many of us get it and don't run to the
Right.
doctor?
Or don't?
Ignore it.
I can
You
check
know,
off a line.
skin rashes.
Just live with it.
Sleep problems. So much of this is caused by the toxins in our life. Fatigue, depression, thyroid, we have an increase of thyroid issues. Think about, what causes these things? Is it the fluoride in the toothpaste? Fluoride in the water? You start thinking about, what's happening. So inflammation, we talked a little bit about this. See that? The bee just stung the guy, now he's putting all this more chemicals on it. But see, immediately got red and it's swelling. So you can see that when you get stung by a bee, but you can't see when you put food into your body's reacting in a similar way. So inflammation is the basis for all disease, including obesity. So classic signs: pain, swelling, redness, heat, bee sting, bad sore throat, swollen knee, infected fingernail. It's all the same. Something comes in, the body doesn't know what to do with it, and that list of things start to happen. Pain, swelling, redness, heat, all those things. So we have what creates it. We talked about the sugar, lack of exercise, toxins, food allergies and sensitivities, imbalances in our digestive system, stress, inadequate sleep, and nutritional deficiencies. So it does a lot. I think we got the point. Inflammation, we want to avoid it. We want to try to neutralize our body. We want to try to get our body into a state of alkalinity. And alkalizing our every day, one simple way of doing that is by starting the day off with a glass of lemon water. So that will actually help to alkalize the body, help get your pH neutralized, and get you started off in a good way.
When you say lemon water, you're talking about lemon squeezed into water, not lemon flavored water that you buy at the store, right?
Fresh lemon squeezed in, and preferably organic.
Organic
Organic.
lemon or
Organic
water?
lemons.
Oh.
And
then what, just bottled water or?
Well, I use a Brita water filter. Some people have other kinds of water filters. I don't typically drink tap water, but I use fresh lemon, and you want to use organic. And the reason why you want to use organic is because even they have this clean 15 and dirty dozen. Have you has anybody heard of that list? There's a clean dozen, clean 15 and dirty dozen. It's a list of items that are okay to eat if it's organic, and are not okay if it's organic. And if it is, you definitely want to have those. The clean 15, you want to have like any kind of berry, because they have a thin coating, so you want to eat, organic berries, all organic berries. But if you think about it, those berries, even let's say our avocado, which is in on the clean side. So if you have an avocado, I would suggest getting an organic avocado. And even though the fruit, because an avocado is a fruit, is protected, it's still been sprayed. The dirt has been sprayed with the herbicides, fungicides, and pesticides. So it's going to absorb that as part of what they think is the nutrients to grow. So you want to use organic whenever you can. And in particular, there's a list. You don't have to worry about the list. I'm saying this because of HOPE, H-O-P-E. Hormones, oxygen, phytonutrients, and enzymes. So all of those things are in your produce, and you want them to be there. And once you start spraying chemicals in it, just like you as a human being, wow, my hormones are all out of balance. Well, what are you eating? Right? Think about it. I can't sleep at night. Well, how much coffee did you have? Or what are you putting into your diet? Anyway, so you want to think about providing yourself with the maximum. Okay, so oxygen, we talked about breathing is really, really important. This is a quote by Dr. Andrew Weil. We can also start with our breath. If I had to limit my advice on healthier living to just one tip, it would be simply to learn how to breathe correctly. There is not a single more powerful or more simple daily practice further your health and well-being than breath work. So breathing. You know, we talk about air. If we don't breathe, we'll die. The fastest couple minutes, right? 2 minutes, whatever it is. If you don't have water, that's the second. If you don't eat, you can last like 2 weeks without eating, right? You really need to focus in on the breath. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. So here's the program. It's 3 phases. We figured it out. We have the first phase, which is preparation, elimination of refined foods, and stimulants. And this can take anywhere from 4 to 7 days. If you got it all cleared out and you're ready to go into the next phase, by all means you can do that. But this takes 4 to 7 days for most people. And what you want to do is eliminate soy, corn, wheat, dairy, okay, the big things that are going to affect you. Now in your menu, you have soy as a part of it. I've kind of been on the fence for soy, liking it, not liking it. I would use it in small amounts, but soy was probably the first grain to be GMO'd.
Does that include soy milk?
Soy milk as well. So if you are going to have soy, then I would try to have, organic if you can. So you want to eliminate these things over the next week. Phase 2 is deepening by eliminating animal protein and doing an optional juice feast or fast or lemonade fast. And that would be another 3 to 10 days. So if you decide to do a juice fast, you want to do it for 3 to 10 days. You don't have to do it to get the benefits. These are just an outline. And then phase 3 is adding food back in and developing that level of awareness. So in the first phase, begin to prepare your body for the cleanse and eliminate the following. And we just talked about the wheat, the corn, and all of that. Prepare your environment. So get everything prepared. Get your food set up, supplements if you choose to use some of the recommended supplements. Get your kitchen ready, your house, and your schedule. And what I mean by that is, I know, Frank, you're running around, you're busy, 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 like maybe most of you are. Prepare for that. Bring your lunch. Have nuts to snack on. Have a container of water, so that way you're not going without water for a long period of time. Because quite often when you think you're hungry, you're just dehydrated. So make sure you have water. Prepare behavior changes, food combining. The standard American diet talks about steak and potatoes, right? That's one of the worst things that you can do, because it's really hard for your body to break down those starches and to break down the protein at the same time. So if you're going to have a steak, have it on a nice bed of lettuce, a nice salad. Combine it with some beautiful asparagus or Brussels sprouts or something that is going to actually help to balance it and make it easier for the body to break the food down. So you get the maximum benefit from that food. Chew more slowly. Even there's a chewing meditation in your book. Really about savoring the flavor and tasting the food. And you won't believe how great food tastes when you just give it a moment to taste it. More hydration. Reduce stress if you can. You can't change what's happening around you, but you can change how you interact with it. So how do you want to be with that? Do you want to come right back at it, or do you want to think about how do you want to respond to the stress that's coming at you? in movement. So, rather than maybe taking the elevator, maybe take the stairs. Try to think about adding those things that you can add in, and add in some meditation and some breathing exercises. So in the first phase is where you might start to feel some of the biggest sort of negative things, or the strongest withdrawals or toxic feelings of, oh my gosh, I don't think I could do this, and things are going to come up. Not to fear, it's okay, it happens. So here's a list. I'm not going to list all of them, but things to avoid in all phases of the cleanse.
Is that the handouts?
I think so. So you want to avoid these. Now there's some thing here called nightshades. Okay, tomatoes, potatoes, eggplants, and bell peppers. And I put that in there because many people are allergic to those. Nightshade, they do something to the body and it creates an inflammation. So if you can, try not to, hit the salsa because it's made out of tomatoes. Maybe try using red bell peppers as a substitute, but it's on the list too. So forget that, scratch that. But just try to eliminate it. The recipes in the book don't have those things in there, but
Peanuts?
peanuts, stay away from peanuts.
But eat
And there are
nuts.
other nuts.
Other nuts.
That's
Other
right.
nuts like almonds are really
Almonds.
good. Almonds are actually a seed, and they're really good for you. Really great omegas, and they're nourishing and satisfying. So
What about pistachios?
pistachios are good question.
Huh?
They're yummy.
They are. I love pistachios.
I
So
think you do have a recipe. Leslie.
yes, there's a pistachio recipe in the book.
Pistachios are okay, right?
Yes, they're okay. They Brussels sprouts with pistachios.
Oh,
Nice. All right. So what you may experience over the next few days: bad breath, constipation, achy flu-like symptoms, anger, fatigue, headaches, hunger, irritability, itchy skin. I get that. It's like stuff is coming out. Nausea, offensive body odor, and sleeping difficulties. Because the body, things are going to start to come up for the body. The body is going to start making these adjustments, so you might have some of these as a result. And so these may also be caused by food addiction. Okay, so there's a lot of similar things if you're addicted to certain foods, like if you come off of, drinking alcohol, for example, you might have similar detox as you would if you stop eating wheat and corn and some of the other toxins that you're putting into your body. So there's a lot of the same type of things. Don't worry, it's all going to go away. You're going to feel better. So you're going to rewards. We all want to do this for something, right? What are we going to get from this? We're going to lose weight, better digestion and elimination, fewer chronic illnesses. I can't promise all these things for everybody, but I do know that it has worked for me. So less congestion, fewer allergy-related symptoms, or systems, increased energy, less joint pain, improved skin, better moods, better outlook. Who wants this?
Oh, yeah.
Yay! We all want this. Okay. So it's really pretty easy. The cleanse is easy, right? All you have to do is take out the crap that causes all these issues. But why is it so hard?
It does take discipline.
It does take discipline. So discipline is remembering what you want. Which is a really good point. It's time to say, like, what do you want? You've heard enough about what's going on here. I handed out little index cards. And I want you just to take a moment, if you want to use the index cards or your notebooks or your own personal notebook, it's just to take a moment out and think about what you want for yourself, from this cleanse or beyond. Why are you here? And what do you want for yourself? And perhaps what's going to help you to stay on course when you go to Jackson's and they bring out those donut holes with slathering with the bread, the butter. the sweet butter that they serve with it, or you go over to Uncle Julio's and they bring out the basket of chips. And that's salsa.
Salsa's not bad for you, is it? How can it be?
No, salsa's not bad. We're just asking that you know, limit the tomatoes, but hey, if you're gonna have the salsa on your salad, which is a nice salad dressing, because all those ingredients, the wheat and corn, all that, and sugar, if you go and buy regular salad dressing, all those things are in your salad dressing. You have to look for gluten-free, you know,
I think
salad
it's a
dressing.
process though, you know, it just takes time. Otherwise it can be very overwhelming.
Mhm.
Oh wow, what can I eat?
Sure.
You know, versus, okay, I'm gonna right now make a better choice. And if you make a bad choice, you make a bad choice, but you get back on track.
Good.
Yeah, so that.
Good,
it
better,
can be
best.
overwhelming, it can be overwhelming.
Anybody overwhelmed so far? No, okay. Good, better, best. Thank you for sharing that. That's, you know, what's better in this situation?
So you want us to do that right now, or do you want us?
Well, just write down on your little cards or something, what do you want from the program? And you might have already journaled it in your book, so if you've done that, then that's good.
That's good for you.
How can we do that?
All right. All right, so creating a new paradigm for yourself, create an escape from your normal harried life. Remember to chew and breathe, noticing how you feel. Commit to the process, physically, emotionally, and energetically. That's something that you're going to have to find within yourself, right? You're going to have to figure out what that is. Replenish the body with specific nutrients that will detoxify and purify. Partake in rituals, habits, or practices that are designed to help to cleanse the other elements that we've talked about. And clean out your home and remove all items that are weighing you down. And I say all, you know, that's impossible. But you might find that, you know, you go into your pantry and you might realize that there are certain foods in there that when you're done with this cleanse, you're done with. You don't want them in there. So remove them. I had a mom I worked with, and she was cleaning things out. She goes, you know what I realized is that they eat what I buy. If it's in the house, we're going to eat it. So think about that. Think about the foods, because this cleanse is, you know, 3 weeks long, but it's longer than that. Alter your food selections, choosing whole and preferably organic foods, eliminating sugar and processed junk, refined, canned. There's some recipes that do allow for like canned chickpeas. You want to try to find cans that are not lined with the BPA. So you want to, you know, you could raise your level of awareness. If you can't find them, don't worry about it. You know, don't get overwhelmed. Think long term, good, better, best. So we're getting started. You have your workbook. Who has done their exercises so far? Started. Okay. Good number. Just get organized, go shopping, create your system. Place affirmations. Like I said earlier, you can go out online and look for those motivational things. And then doing this renewal. You'll see on your journal, it will say like, you know, your energy level for the day and what renewal did you do. So toxic elimination baths, daily is best. This is where you take hot water and you put in 2 cups of Epsom salt and some baking powder and some, if you have some lavender essential oil, you can put a couple drops of that in there. It's really a beautiful way to end out the day. It's taking time to be with yourself, to relax. The heat, the warmth, especially this time of year, feels really great. Meditation, yoga, stretching, time out in nature, dancing. I have a great Zumba class I go to Tuesday nights at the Herndon Rec Center. It costs $10 or $7.50. 1 minute breathing exercises or meditations. saunas. Now, I've mentioned this, but there's a sauna over in Herndon, and I'm gonna send more information to you on that. Worked it out with, did you work with her mom, Calvert's mom?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's called Hot Spot Sauna. It's in Herndon. It's a great place. Go in for a sauna a couple times a week. It really helps. One massage or body work like Reiki, something that's going to feel really good. You want to take good care.
What is Reiki?
Reiki is a hands-on healing energy,
Oh, okay.
and it's an ancient healing modality. It's like, you know how Mother Teresa, I recently watched a movie about Mother Teresa, you know, when she greets people, it was so beautiful. She'd always put her hands on their head. She'd always touch them. And she believed that picking up those little children was a way, you know, if people and children are not touched, they die. So healing, it starts with the hands, and it starts with that love. It's a beautiful expression because Reiki comes from the heart, and the heart stems out energetically through the arms. And I like to say, you know, what are the ingredients that you can put into your life? All kinds of things, but vitamin L, I think, is the most needed.
That's cute.
Vitamin love. Okay, so Reiki is really a hands-on healing that connects you to something that's bigger. And sweating, so sauna and sweat and colonics. Now I have a great connection to a colon hydrotherapist, and these are just suggestions, you don't have to do it. She's right down the road. Her name's Caroline. I'll be sending that information out as well. And the breathing exercises. And we talked about rebounding and lymphocyzing. So I'm not going to go through all of these breathing meditations, but we're going to do one right now. It's in the book that you can do pretty easily. And then you just take a moment, everybody put your stuff down, maybe put your 2 feet down on the ground. And what we're going to do is just breathe. What we're going to do is consciously breathe in 7, hold for 7, and let it out for 7. So we're going to breathe in for 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, 1. Hold for 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You just keep repeating that. You can do it on your own. So that's pretty simple to do. You do that for a couple minutes. Wow. Now notice. Do you feel any different just by taking a few moments out? Wow. I think when we slow down and pause, we can come at it with so much more intention. Now, how do we live our life with intention? How are we creating intentionality? And I believe that it's our practices that we do every day. Whatever it is, there's no judgment. But what are the things that you're doing daily, creating the outcomes that you're putting into your life? And breathing is just one of those things that you could add to really help get yourself centered and focused. So we'll skip over this. Lymphocyzing. We talked about this a little bit earlier. It's the vertical use of acceleration and deceleration and gravity that provide a condition for cleaning out the cells, basically. It builds physical strength and improves your posture, your vascular system, better muscle tone, improves the heart muscle, and it improves the stimulation of free flowing. Like at this place I mentioned earlier, Hippocrates, and other places, what they would have is like a little chair, and they would put the person who couldn't physically jump up and down on a rebounder or on a, what do they call it? Trampoline. They put them on a little chair, and they would move them up and down, and that would have the same kind of effect. So it's really very powerful. And you're flooding your cells with oxygen. So that's another key benefit. So you've all been sent the link out to have a coach, because it's the size of the group I'll be doing the coaching with everyone. And basically the reason for the coaching session is to support you through the process, help you set up, maintain, and get your goals in alignment. Have a support person there for you. Review your success and develop next steps, so in 3 or 4 weeks from now, you don't go back to doing the same thing, because you know what, the weight will come right back on, or the energy will be decreased or whatever. So we want to set you up for success, so that way you say, wow, that was really great, I want to continue to live this way. And hopefully you'll start to schedule yours this week, because it's really important. So one of the things I think is really important, you'll see that there's a gratitude meditation, is that the vibration of gratitude attracts more positive things into your life. So when we're grateful for what we have, we'll be surprised at what we get.